everyone, I'm Leslie, and I travel the world looking for everything unique, different, and more off the beaten path, the better. Currently, we're on Royal Caribbean's ultimate world cruise, circumnavigating the globe. We left in December, and today we are in Valletta, Malta. Now, full disclosure, I had no idea what to expect from Valletta, and holy Malta completely blew me away. Valletta specifically is the smallest capital in the European Union. It's only about 1/3 of a square mile. So suffice it to say, we covered every inch of it, and it is medieval. It is welcoming and warm and cozy and fantastic and magnificent and breathtaking and beautiful and overwhelming and just mind-blowing. Now, you remember, if you watched my Montenegro video, if you didn't, go back and watch it, we have just been stop after stop after stop of just incredible medieval ports. So I should have been prepared that Valletta was likely going to be on that page. My notes said, be on the deck, be on the balcony for the approach. I was just literally, I would get your popcorn, I would get your breakfast waffles, your coffee, your glass of wine, whatever time of day, whatever snacks you need. You're gonna wanna watch every single minute of this. It begins with our sail-in. Right? Like, where am I right now? Where is this? People actually live here. A testament to having a balcony cabin on a cruise ship. If you're going to travel this way and go anywhere in the world, honestly, on a cruise ship, book a balcony cabin. The amount of the world that we have seen just right here on our balcony from our cabin is a journey and an experience in and of itself. So book a balcony cabin when you take your next cruise. Back to Valletta. This is Fort Ricasoli, once playing an integral part of Malta's military history. Now it's in a dilapidated state, with its main use being film shoots. The film Gladiator from 2000, Troy from 2004, and Napoleon in 2023. The good news is it's been approved recently for restoration measures. As well as scenes from Game of Thrones. You'll recognize this as the Red Keep. I know you think I'm overselling it. I'm not. It is incredible. Seeing it from these videos, you can't even get the full effect. I felt like I needed to have music playing, like that theme music from, you know, like from Game of Thrones, playing in the background as we sailed in. Just crazy cool. Now, let's go see what all the hype's about for Valletta. When you dock at the cruise port, there are traditional caravans at the port. This is one of the oldest forms of public transportation in Malta, dating back to the mid-19th century. However, as I said, Valletta is only about 1/3 of a square mile, so it's totally walkable. At the port, when you walk up past the caravans, there's also a lift, because to get up to inside the city walls is, a considerable hike, for lack of a better word. It's a pretty steep ramp that takes you up. And so there is a lift. It's about €1 up and again, back down if you don't want to take the walk. It's called the Baroque lift, and you'll see it right when you are at the dock. At the top of the wall and one of the gates to the city is the War Memorial, dedicated to the loss of lives in World War I and World War II, and an art installation of the 5 gates that you'll see around the wall. Valletta was established in 1565 and one of the greatest military and moral forces of modern Europe, the Knights of St. John's of Jerusalem. Often described as an open-air museum and a living piece of history, it's known for its various museums, palaces, and grand churches. Baroque landmarks include St. John's Co-Cathedral, and 319 other monuments make up one of the most concentrated historic areas in the world. It's all within this 1/3 square mile. Malta has been colonized throughout the ages and now stands proudly independent since 1964. This is St. John's Co-Cathedral. And don't let the simple exterior deter you from going inside. We have seen churches all over the world on our journeys. So much so that Roy's like, on the churches. I will stop at every single church. Every single one of them is so different and unique and beautiful. I light a candle for my grandmother, who's with me every single day, everywhere I go. And so I do not want to miss churches, but this one in particular, you absolutely do not want to miss. Not only is it stunningly beautiful, there is so much more to it. Let me tell you about St. John's Co-Cathedral. The interior of the church is considered to be one of the finest examples of high Baroque architecture in Europe. Do you see these gold carvings on the wall? These were undertaken in situ, or in place. Rather than being carved independently and then attached to the walls, they're actually carved right there on the wall. The ceiling is painted in such a way that the depiction of John the Baptist paintings appear to be three-dimensional. In 1666, Kappa designed the altar depicting the baptism of Christ. However, he died a tragic death, so his only student, Mazzuoli, continued his vision and finished it in 1703. whole marble floor is an entire series of tombs housing about 400 knights and officers of the order. Caravaggio's The Beheading of St. John the Baptist is here in St. John's Cathedral. It is so profound. They actually have a whole exhibit around the painting, how it was painted, why he painted the way he did. It's in a place. It is indescribable. Considered one of Caravaggio's masterpieces, the largest canvas he painted and the only painting signed by the painter, the canvas is displayed in the oratory for which it was painted. The oratory has an incredible interactive room detailing every inch of the painting.
Street town to Harlem.
This is an absolute stop in Valletta, one of the top churches we've seen in the world. Such an incredible experience. And if you've watched my other videos, you know how I feel about paying to get into churches. This one's 10 euros to get in, but worth every single penny of that. And to be honest, I would have paid, in hindsight, knowing what we were gonna see, I would have paid considerably more for it. There's an audio tour that you can take that tells you about this incredible building, all the artwork, all the carvings and the history of it, and then the interactive exhibit for Caravaggio's painting. Just go, trust me and go. The streets in Valletta are vibrant, cobblestone welcoming, architecturally dominant, historic, lined with endless restaurants, shops, and homes, and just absolutely medieval, amazingly awesome. I absolutely loved it here, can you tell? Like, I know you might be thinking right now that I'm overselling it. I'm not. It is one of my favorite places in the world. That list is getting really long, but just really, 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 really cool. And I know I've said that a lot too, but these places are really cool. It's so difficult to articulate, like how, you know, the cruise ships choose these ports for a reason. They're amazing. They're historically just steeped in stories and history and amazingness. It's just, yeah, they're amazing. Valletta's amazing. Malta's amazing. Book your next trip. Valletta, Malta. The statue of Jean de Valletta is the French nobleman and the 49th Grand Master of the Order of Malta. The foundation stone of Valletta was laid by him in 1566. The Grand Master's Palace is another place you don't want to miss. It's right in the heart of St. George's Square and invites you to wander through 450 years of Malta history.
one aisle, how many aisles? So you get from one end to the other everywhere?
Do you remember this guy, Valletta? Remember, he's the guy that laid the first stone to call this area Valletta after himself. That stone was laid right here to start the construction of the first building in Valletta, the Our Lady of Victory Church. March 1566 in front of 28 people. They called it Our Lady of Victory to celebrate the triumph over the Turks in the Great Siege of Malta the previous year.
Så må han jo snakke med mor.
This is Fort St. Elmo. To give you a better bearing on Valletta, here's a map. Fort St. Elmo, with its magnificent views of the Grand Harbor, is a treasure trove of artifacts, military paraphernalia, and home to the Chapel of St. Anne and a significant National War Museum. It was built by the Knights in 1552 in just 4 months and bore the brunt of the Ottoman arms during the Great Siege of Malta. It also received its fair share of bombardment during World War II. These military barracks behind the St. Elmo's fortress, I mean, of course they're gonna have barracks, but it was just so crazy. It literally felt like a movie scene, and they've apparently filmed lots of movies in these barracks. Just eerie, felt kind of like zombie-ish, and like as I was filming, I was waiting for like zombies to come wandering out into my vision. Just crazy cool. We wandered the streets here in Valletta. We ate in Valletta. We went into this incredible church, the Grand Master's Palace, the fortress. We covered so much area. Just such a cool, it's such a difficult place to describe because it's so warm and welcoming, but it's also just magnificent and like otherworldly and medieval, and you feel like you're transported back in time. It's just an incredible place. I cannot recommend Valletta highly enough. I want to go back to Malta because I can only imagine what this country has to show us. Loved Valletta, loved Malta. Full circle here is our sailing in, our view from the fort, and our view sailing away. Unbelievable, incredible, so amazing. So that was our day in Valletta. We felt like we really got to see this area and really got to fall in love with Malta. We would come back to Malta in a second. We absolutely loved Valletta. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for an incredible day in Valletta. We sadly have to leave Valletta and say goodbye, but it's with full hearts. So next up, we are going to Sicily, Italy. Sicily holds a special place in my heart. My grandfather was from Sicily, so I'm channeling him, bringing him along. Can we just have a minute with this to see that he won the popularity contest and was in the circus in 1924 and 1925? I'm excited to go to Sicily. However, we were originally supposed to go to Catania and we had a whole Godfather tour planned. We're gonna see all the stops where they filmed The Godfather. And we both loved that movie and we were excited about that excursion. However, Royal Caribbean changed our port stop from Catania to Syracuse. There were some port issues I'll tell you about on that video. And so we had to change where we were headed. If we haven't learned anything traveling, we've learned that it's super important to be fluid. You just never know when your plans are gonna change, and it's usually when your plans change that something magical happens. So we just roll with it, and we're gonna do Syracuse instead of Catania. We canceled our tour and was able to get a refund. Have no idea about Syracuse, gonna quickly do some research about it. And I'm excited to show it to you. So as always, thank you so much for being here. You could be anywhere watching anyone's videos. If you travel, just stay right here with me. But I'm just grateful. I'm grateful you're here. I appreciate you being part of my journey. And until Sicily, bye for now.